everybody. It's Karen. I am back once again. And my next guest is the wonderful Patti. And today we are going to be learning lots from her about witchcraft, as not only is she a psychic medium, she is also a good witch, and many, there's so much to tell you about her. I will bring her on and let her tell you about herself. Hello.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Karen. Thank you so much for having me on.
You're very welcome.
My name is Patti Negri. I am a psychic medium since birth. I've been talking to the dead since I was a toddler. I've been doing seances since I was 7 or 8. And a witch. I use the term good witch because, I like Wizard of Oz, and I like it better than black and white, good and less good. And my phone's making noise. And again, as we get into talking about it, I will say the different kinds of witches, what it means. It can mean your religion, your spiritual belief system. It can mean a practice, all of the above, either belongs the way. But I am one of those blood witches, which actually means it's just born in me. Not that my mother did it or my father did it, though very gifted, but I would find myself literally in the backyard of my little suburban Los Angeles home, knowing that if I picked some rosemary and put it in my mom's wallet, she'd have more money and it would draw money in.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, everybody could do that. Rosemary, put some in your garden. It's not hard. I mean, in most climates, it's not hard to grow. There's so many things. Again, I'm very elemental in my work, very shamanistic in my work. Again, many different kinds of witches and witchcraft, but it's just born in me. So therefore, I studied it my entire life as well, because I like inborn and then knowledge and learning from, this is why this is that along the way. But yeah, happy to be here. Happy to answer any questions, talk about everything I know and everything I don't know.
And everything you don't know. So would you say that you're a herbalist or you just use herbs in any of your practices that you do or anything?
Yeah, I don't use the words that I'm herbalist. I love that you guys pronounce the H. You guys are so cute with your accents on the other side of the pound. We don't have an H. I don't consider myself an herbalist because so often that means like you're getting into herbs for health and medical. Not that I don't use it for that, but that's not my specialty. My specialty is using the herbs, using the oils from them for magical purposes, for the attributes that they cause within it. So I don't use that term. I use the word witch. I'm a practitioner. I use the word shaman sometimes because people understand it and are some reason less afraid of it sometimes. Healer, all sorts of things. So.
Okay. And when you say you're a healer, and in what way do you work, Patti, as a healer?
I work, on my big philosophy is I'm a big believer of that old school mind, body, spirit philosophy. Literally, there's 20,000 books written about it. Not all witchy books, not all spiritual books or occult books. The self-help section, psychology books, new age books. There's a truth to mind, body, spirit. When you have all three, you get it. We understand 1 out of 3 is wishful thinking. I wish I was healthy. I wish I had a partner. I wish I had a job, or I wish I had money. I wish I was happy. Means nothing. Wishful thinking, 1 out of 3. 2 out of 3 is hit or miss, and usually miss depending on what it is. 3 out of 3 is always a home run. And I'm going to show you how witchcraft ties into that. It's so weird. We understand the mind. Mind will never surpass our own belief system. That's psychology. It's going to be really easy. You just made it easier. Oh boy, I'm not going to have trouble doing this. You just made it harder. We understand that. I could be king of the world, or I'm going to struggle my whole life. We create all that. We will never surpass our own thought process. Mind, body. We understand that we have to take action. I want to be healthier, so maybe eat better, exercise. We understand that. But the spirit part, that's the less tangible that people don't get. And that's literally the battery power that makes it happen. So in actuality, you could do it lots of ways. The spirit can be faith-based. It could be your religion. Pray, go to church, temple, synagogue, mosque, whatever. You could do it New Age, vision boards, affirmations, all those fabulous things that are. Or witch has been doing it forever, spell working. There's the magic, there's the power, whether it's the herbs you're working with or the candle you're carving or the chant you're doing over the fire. You've got the headset, you're taking action, and as soon as you have the spirit, unless you are trying to break the laws of physics, like be a foot taller or fly without an airplane, you're going to get it. Literally, you could go through your whole life and look at the things you've accomplished in your life that you've made, whether easy or hard, like, oh, I made that happen. You've had the mind and body and spirit. You've believed it somehow. You've taken action somehow, and you had some sort of magic or faith or energy behind it. Look at the stuff that you haven't accomplished or been really hard and you're still working at. You're just missing one or two of those things. Either you don't really believe it, or you're really not, you're just sitting on the couch, you're not taking action, or you don't have that little spark of energy, that faith or whatever to make it happen. And I think that's why I went with witchcraft. To me, it is much more fun to dance around a bonfire, burning candles and herbs, than just going into a place of worship and praying to somebody else's God. Let me take that on with passion. So to me, that's what the craft is. That's what being a witch is. It means I'm willing to take fate into my own hands and shift my life how I want it to be. Naturally, everything just goes the easiest path. Gravity goes the easiest path. Water runs downhill. If we just go through life and the wind taking us wherever the wind takes us, it's going to take us a pretty basic, easy path. But if you go, dang, I don't want to go down that hill, I want to climb that mountain, then you're going to build a dam. That's what doing the craft is. Like, okay, I want to go over here. I'm going to build this dam. I'm going to use these herbs. I'm going to use this intent. I'm going to do this candle. I'm going to do this ritual. I'm going to work with these deities. So it's taking fate into your own hands. It is a big responsibility because if you're changing fate, there's always consequences. It's action and reaction, cause and effect. So you really, really, if you do want to become an occultist, a witch, a magical practitioner, you actually have to have a really good sense of integrity, of virtue, of moral code, all those weird things that you don't, or the society doesn't think of in the craft, because you're not relying. Michelle, hold on 1 second. Make that noise. Why is that on? I'm sitting here.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry.
That's okay. Patty's just oh, she's back.
Everything off. Haunted phone. Anyway, so I'm sorry.
Well, every time we're on together, something happens.
Every time. Everything's turned off. Except anyway.
But you know what? I can't blame Jolene this time because she's not here. Normally, I just say it's her fault, but I can't even blame her.
I'll take full responsibility.
Okay, thank you.
It's whatever. So anyway, so if you don't know if something is the right thing to do, that's when the craft can get you in trouble. But if you have that sense of integrity or right or wrong, that's the difference of a good witch and a bad witch. And to me, it's even not just what you do. It's you're creating the world you live in. In simplicity, the Wiccan code, if you want to call it the Wiccan read, and I could talk about the different kinds of witchcraft, but it's like what you put out, you get back 3 times. Actually, is the thing. Karma is the Eastern word for it. But to me, I go back with cause and effect, action and reaction. So why would I put out curses and hexes? It's like, I have to live in that world. If you hex somebody or curse someone, you now can be cursed because you've created that world for yourself. We all create our world. Why not send out love and abundance and happiness and health and joy to everybody? Because that's what you get back. Because honestly, I don't have a moral code of judgment of people who will work dark arts, but I just see their happiness factor as compared to mine. I see their joy of life factor as compared to mine. All of a sudden, if you're living in that world where there's hate or there's anger, it's like it starts affecting their way of being, their health, their everything. So why do that? You don't need to. Believe me, you can get what you want. You could get what you need without having to step on anybody else or go negative ever. I even have an example of what I do. Like my little hobby is beating odds. I don't know if I talked about this before. To do impossible or near impossible things. Do you show it that, oh, you could do this? Like get on Master Chef when I don't know how to cook, beating 70,000 people to bid on, or getting on Wipeout when I'm not that athletic, beating like 100,000 people, or America's Got Talent. These, I mean, I don't want to risk my life, but I want to challenge. But when I was out there at those auditions with, you know, a convention center held of thousands of people, and I'm like, I'm going to get there. I wasn't saying to the people around, I wasn't, or thinking, oh, I'm going to beat you. I'm going to beat you. Oh,
Well, that's a negative way of thinking, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I was like, good luck to you. And I meant every syllable. I wish you the best. Good luck to you. Good luck to you. And what you're putting out is what you get back. And so again, it works every time. And if people just got that better in all aspects of life, it's like, we'd be a lot happier as a world, let alone as individual people. So that's what the craft is to me. Which is, again, it could be your religion, your belief system, and there's many kinds of witchcraft or paganism. It's like saying, I'm a Christian. Are you Protestant? Are you Catholic? Are you evangelical? They're all the same, but slightly different. There's Wicca, of course, which is the most popular. It's been around. It's the newest of all. It's been along since like the 50s. Gerald Gardner. It's very good. Oh, they're taking it from the old Celtic. They're taking that. Oh, the goddess religion. Let's celebrate the seasons. Let's celebrate nature. And they've created Wicca. And that's very popular now, which is great because, again, it makes you responsible for your life. Not giving it away that somebody else can forgive you. And it's this beautiful, gentle thing. But there's also ceremonial magicians. There's druids, which, again, they've been around a long time. There's chaos magicians, which is more modern and has a nice sense of humor to it. To me, it's like they will use children's songs as their chant because you want that juxtaposition. You know, even almost all the Native American faiths or any shamanistic, like Peruvian, Peruvian shamanism, they don't call themselves witches, but it's sort of the same thing. We are working with nature, God, gods, whatever you want to say, to create our lives, to shift, and taking responsibility for what we do. And that's really what it means to me. And it's whether you use the title or not.
Well, I've got some questions for you, if that's okay, because I just want to ask some of these questions because there's been so many comments coming in whilst you've been talking. And I don't want to miss anybody or miss any questions that anyone has, because obviously this is people's time to ask you their questions and to pick your brain and gain knowledge from you. Angelina wants to know, oh, where have we gone? I've lost it then for a moment. Angelina said, what stones are recommended for protection? Oh, from demons, she's saying.
Demons. Okay.
That's quite specific.
It is very specific. And I'm going to just tell you one thing. Demons get way too much credit. Not that they don't exist. They do. And I do television. Many of you might recognize me. I'm regular on Ghost Adventures. Oh, we've been doing some crazy stuff lately. Can't talk about it yet. But
you can't do that to us. Say something like that and say we can't.
Our secret. No.
Okay, go on.
But no, but so often anything kind of negative happens, or oh, it's a demon. 90% of the time or more, it's just some cranky ghost. If it's a demon, you're going to kind of know it. Yeah. I've had cranky ghosts. Even my person who lit somebody on fire wasn't a demon. It was a cranky ass ghost. Excuse my language. But protection stones, whether demons or lower vibrational spirits or cranky ghosts or whatever it is, the easiest answer is any black stone actually fights negativity, fights darkness. Onyx, jet, black tourmaline, black tourmaline is actually, they're all work to pull away negativity and dark. The black tourmaline is actually the one that can actually help turn negativity into positivity. So that's my favorite of all of them, but I use and work with all of them. I will, have something in my pocket, have something on my neck, like Karen, have something. I use lots of different symbols and sigils, but just like black pulls things away. Like even black candles, people think black candles are dark. Absolutely not. You're getting rid of stuff working a black candle. So that's an easy answer. Hope that helps.
Okay, thank you. Kelly said, what made you interested in witchcraft and magic? I know you already touched upon that already.
Yeah, again, being gifted from a child and knowing this stuff, seeing spirits. I was raised without any kind of religion. My grandfather was this very famous psychoanalyst, humanist, atheist. So God or religion was a dirty word in our family in a way, or just not mentioned. But because I see energy, I would drive by any house of worship, a church, again, a temple, a mosque, a synagogue, and I'd see the energy there, and I'd want to go in, and I didn't know what that was, and I wanted to tap into that energy, but I didn't know. We just didn't talk. I'd never been in a church in my life. I think I was 13 by the time I was brave enough to ask my mom if I could go a typical church. I think it was evangelical. I wanted to go to like a Friday night church because there was a really cute Christian rock band. Big in the day in the 70s, like, ooh, gosh, they're cute. And I was so nervous asking my mom if I could go to church with my girlfriend. I mean, I almost would have felt safer. Can I go to a rave? Can I go to an orgy? And like, but can I go to a church? And I asked her, and she goes, of course, you could do anything you want. Go wherever you want. This is your choice. I'm like, ah. So thus, at that 13, I became a seeker. I'm like, I want all of it. I went to every kind of church. Let's try Tibetan Buddhism. Let's try I was Jewish. My father's side would have been Jewish had they had anything. I would try my Jewish rites, try my Christian, Eastern's, all of this. So I settled somewhere on the pagan route. I tried the new agey thing when that first came in. I remember Shirley MacLaine and Out on a Limb. You're young in the 80s, like, yeah, reincarnation. And I liked that, but it was still a little squeaky, white chiffon-y for me. I go, there's something deeper. There's something more earthy, because I'm the girl, rolling in dirt in the backyard. And when I first discovered paganism or the pagan past, I'm like, this is it. They work with nature, with planets, with moon cycles, with rocks, with herbs, with oils. They respect and literally worship the earth and around. This is my path. So like I said, I'd much rather don a cloak and dance around a bonfire chanting than just go sit in a beautiful house of worship, which I will do as well. But that's how I ended up there in the long story.
That's all right.
But it's the long and windy road. And believe me, I now draw from all of those belief systems, because if you take it down to the level of energy, which is what I see, everything is energy. I mean, science will tell you that. That's literally number science is what's going to bring and is bringing science and spirituality together as they are the same thing. It actually all goes down to numbers and math. It's whatever template you put on top is to use as your roadmap. And I just like that mystical, magical, romantic version of the witchy way.
Okay. And Kirsty says, Patti, how old were you when you first told someone you had this amazing ability?
Well, as far as my family, very young. I was, again, because I thought it was normal. I thought everybody could talk to the creatures in the closet and under the bed. Those imaginary creatures aren't all imaginary. I do believe kids have the sight. It just gets taught out of us in modern society, Western society. We've all become so numb. That's what my whole thing is working against. Wake up. But I would astral travel. My mom was like, yeah, grandma did that. She would always know it. Grandma had this. But she would say something like, oh, we're going to go meet the new next door neighbors. We're going to go to their house for tea tomorrow or something. And I went, I went there last night. She's like, you did not go there last night. You're what, 5 years old. I go, oh no, I went there last night. And I would explain, the living room is blue. There's really ugly green wallpaper in the bathroom. Back door's got a washing machine. And she'd go, okay. So as far as family or really close friends, it's always been a part of who I was. But on the public side of thing, I was really, really shy. really shy. People who know me now are like, what? I'm dancing on tables. But when I was going all through
That's
school,
a whole different story, dancing on tables.
yeah. But when I was through grade school, junior high school, and at least halfway through high school, I was shy because I liked my inner world better than the outer world was scary. So I don't know if like the kids in school knew much.
Okay, great name, the Ninja Warrior. Do you believe things happen for a reason?
Yes, I do. Well, I believe things happen for a reason, and there is divine guidance, divine intervention. But I also, what's cool about us humans is we have free will. We have, so there is fate, there is destiny, we are born, here's a probable path, and certain things we can't control. Again, how tall you are, where you're born, this and that. This is our fate, how we're born. These are our parents. This is what color hair we have for a while. So there is that fate. And then there's the destiny, what we're creating. But the thing that makes us the most amazing of creatures is free will. We were given free will by God, the universe, whatever word you want to use. Thank God for Eve in that Garden of Eden. And that doesn't matter if that's a true story. You have to look at the meaning of all these stories, not whether they're true or not. I think people put weird things on faith. So yes. So again, that's like moving the water from running downhill. So I think we can change what happens. And again, there is still going to be cause and effect and action and reaction. But I do think this whole thing, we're in school. This is like Earth, this human little existence we have, however many years it is. This is like school for us. We learn, we don't learn, we move forward, we don't move forward, we choose to, we choose not to. So again, that's what keeps it really interesting. So again, in a long-about way, yes, things happen for a reason, but we can adjust and shift and change them too. And then they'll happen for a reason. And then we can adjust and shift. Again, swing of the pendulum.
Which also pretty much answers the next question with the oh, hold on. Sorry. Valerie says, I felt like sort of black cloud following. How do you get rid of it? So yet again, that's leading back to positivity, your intentions, your thoughts, your process, what you're putting out there. So
yeah. And you believing it, you're keeping it created. And not saying that things don't happen. So many of us, we put these belief systems on as little bitty kids, when we're not even logical. So much of our parameters that we create, our belief systems about ourselves. I'm extra lucky. I have a cloud over me. I'm sad. Some of it, yes, is karmic. Some of it may relate to past lives. If you read past lives, some of it, this is my lesson in this lifetime. But again, those black clouds are easy to get rid of. With you, the person who asked,
Valerie,
you put that black cloud. It wasn't your whole life. It was right about when you started school, and somebody limited you about something. So it's like, ooh, I don't get that. Ooh, I can't get that. And you put this little shield on you. So you created a little black child. So what I would suggest to you, if I was working with you, get in a hot bath, throw in some salt for cleansing, throw in some sugar for sweetness, throw in some milk for nurturing. You will feel like breakfast cereal, but you could rinse off. It's an old school Southern conjure root magic white bath. The best 30-cent bath you could ever take. Shut down your logical left brain, let your right intuitive brain take over. Go back to that starting school time when you put limitations on yourself, when you said, I have a black cloud or allowed it to create. Could be one word somebody said. Just for a second, though, because you remembering as an adult is not that important, because it's going to be colored by all your life experiences since then. It's going to be colored by your maturity, your understanding since then. Then put your little kid right in front of you. And for you, it's, again, right around school starting, but we all have different things in those first bell. Put that little kid right in your bathroom with you, or in your head with you, however you do it. And then don't remember anything. Listen to that little kid. Let them tell you their thoughts on things from their little kid understanding level and maturity level. And you're going to see that they've got some of it wrong. And some of it might not even make sense. And then you just correct that little kid and say, no, you're perfect. You don't have a black cloud. You're never going to let it go now. Literally, it's inner child work. You could go to a psychologist or a therapist and spend a year talking to your inner child, or you could get in one bath with soap, with salt and sugar and milk, and let your little child tell you and let it go. And then talk to your kid like it is a kid, and you are. And you will start letting go of those shields and self-limitations you put on. And if you do have something, again, whether curse or black cloud, 99% of curses are not real and or self-created. A witch told me decades ago, like, the best curse you could do is say, I curse you, walk away, never think of them again, never curse them. That person starts developing their own curse. I mean, I would never do that, again, because you're putting a thought process in their head. But if you do believe this black cloud, besides definitely talk to your little girl to change your patterns, do my lemon spell. It's not even just mine. I have a version of it in my book, Old World Magic for the Modern World. I have it. All you need is a lemon and some salt, and there's this little chant: sour spell to sour fruit. You must go there because that's your suit. Into this lemon ever bound, all cures, all ills with salt and sound. And you're spicing, and then you're salting, and you set it out to dry. That curse or that black cloud or that negativity or their perception or belief systems start sucking into that lemon. And then when the lemon dries, usually about a week, depending on where you live, weather, humidity, you bury it, you burn it, and you will feel things going away. It's again, that's the witchcraft. That's the taking it into my own hands. Whether real or imagined black cloud doesn't matter. We create the spirit of something. We create the spirit every day in our thought pattern. So, yeah. It's in my book, Old World Magic for the Modern World. Okay. You can get it on Amazon for $6 to $12 American. I don't know the European price, but it sells really well in England. So,
what's your favorite celebration or festival?
And what a good time to ask me. It's Samhain. It's Halloween. Samhain. It's the witch's new year. This is, again, This is our new year. This is the most sacred to me. We have 8 major Sabbats, which we can talk about. 4 are based on the seasons: the fall equinox, the summer equinox, the winter. Because again, everything's seasonal, because these were farmers and ranchers that started it. But Samhain is the beginning of the year, and it is the time when the veil is thinnest between the worlds. And therefore, we celebrate the dead. We celebrate our beloved ancestors. That's actually why the world community has taken on Halloween. That's why you put jack-o'-lanterns or pumpkins out in front of your house to scare away the bad spirits. That's why people dress up with costumes, funny or scary costumes, to scare away the bad spirits. Because everybody knew, whether spiritual or not, that the veil is really thin, because it just is on Samhain. But the pagan belief system is now, it's the horsemen are out. Now is the time to celebrate our beloved dead. Make an altar to grandma, grandpa, mom, dad, ancestors. Put their pictures out, light candles. Celebrate and help cross over those who have died this year. It's the most beautiful. Again, not this year because of COVID, but here in Los Angeles, there's some amazing public rituals. 200 people together celebrating around the bonfire, and you see the ancestors cross. It's you open this veil. It's beautiful. So we are there now. We are a week away. The veil. Everybody should be feeling a little more connected to the other side right now. Everybody should be feeling a little more psychic, a little more in tune, because you are.
Okay. We got another question. This is from Lindsay. Hi, Lindsay. Do you get much in the way of negative reactions from people who don't understand or fear witchcraft?
Yeah, I mean, not as much as I used to, because again, it's weird. I'm decades and decades ahead, but that witchcraft is very popular in a good light now. Whether, television has done us bad, movies have done us bad, but now television, movies are also doing us good. So yeah, I have a lot of people who want to save me. I'm going to hell. Like, okay, it's a good party. I don't believe in hell, but okay. Do you worship the devil? I don't even believe in the devil. It's not in my belief. Yeah, okay. So yeah, some people, and I try to go to what I understand they truly believe that, and that's okay. Who's to say their belief system is any different? are any better or less than mine. Again, to me, it's a template. Some people need more guidance and control. Some people need somebody to tell them what to do and how to follow. Some people don't. So I try to go to the place, like, you really just want to help me. Thank you. And I appreciate that. I appreciate your perspective. Mine's a little wider, but thank you. You know, if people get real cranky about it, you know, they're not coming from love, which happens. It's like, bless you anyway. But, you know,
Well,
not as they used to, but yeah, they do.
it goes back to positivity again, though, doesn't it?
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
it's just yet again, whether they believe, whether they don't believe, whether they've got a negative attitude towards you or so on, send them positivity back. That's the best thing you can do.
You know, I wish you were happier. I'm happy. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
And and that's the one thing I like about some belief systems. I hate that our way or the highway. We are the only right one. Everybody else in the world's going to hell. It's like, really? If we went from my house in Los Angeles to your house, Karen, across the pond, there's many ways to get there. Who's saying one is better? You could swim. Yeah. You could take a boat. You could fly a plane. You could astral project. What if I just say, no, boat's the only way? Really? Really?
Yeah. Everyone's different. Everyone has their own beliefs and everybody does their things in their own way. And no one has the right to say something's right or whether something's wrong. If it's right to you, then it's right for you.
Yeah.
And vice versa. We've got so many comments coming through. Christopher Hall, what do you believe happens immediately upon physical death of the body and brain? Is it a choice to remain on the earthly plane for a time rather than cross the astral or summerland?
Christopher, you always ask the best questions.
I think Christopher's been waiting for you all day. He's literally been here all day. He's been on a night shift and hasn't been to sleep yet because he's been watching all of our lives instead.
I don't think he sleeps ever. I don't sleep much, but he's always up. It doesn't matter a time of day, if it's something live or he's there. Hi, Christopher. That's a good question, a complicated question. I believe of the physical body dies. Yes, that's the one thing we can't have back unless you're into zombies. You know, that's why, again, a big pagan celebration, which we do on Samhain and Halloween, is called a dumb supper. And it's celebrating the dead and letting go their fleshly body. When people die throughout the year, you do it 40 days. There's actually a 40-day transition from death to whatever. Physical body dies. Your spirit, your essence lives on. That can't die. Science has proven that. So whether you want to see it as part of the Akashic records or the consciousness or blood in the blood, doesn't matter. But you have to let that 40-day. It's actually biblical. It's actually numbers, astrology, or you think about it, biblical. Moses was 40 days in the desert. Jesus, 40 days. Noah, 40 days with the flood. 40 days, it's again planetary. It's transition from one world to the other. So after 40 days, what I always suggest to people, and do it on Samhain, Halloween for everybody, is do a dumb supper, which means have dinner or whatever. You have to do it backwards. You start out with dessert, then you work into your main course, then your super salad course or your appetizers or cheese sticks, whatever, because that shows the other side is for them, because the other side is reversed. The other side is mirror image. We always talk about mirror image. So they're going to go, this is dinner for me. And they're going to do. So while you're having this dumb supper, again, whether it's somebody's 40 days or up to 40, anytime after they die or on Samhain, celebrate. Yes, it was great. Yes, we miss them. And talk like they are at dinner with you, like the Last Supper, because they are. Some people set a place for them. Somewhere during that dinner, go silent for a few minutes. That's why it's called dumb supper. Dumb is in silent, not stupid. Or some people now call it a silent supper. Some people in old school do the whole dinner silent, but we don't know how to do silent in modern times. And I've had much better experience just having a few minutes of silence, talking before and then talking after what you get in the silence. But the most important part of this letting go is at the end of the dinner, which is the beginning of the dinner, because you're up to super salad course, is you have to say goodbye to their fleshly body, because that's the one thing you can't have back, again, unless you're into zombies and maggots. And then they become your spirit deceased. your spirit mom, not your dead mom, your spirit lover, your spirit grandpa, not your dead grandpa. And it lets them go. We actually have to cut those cords. When we're living, and I see the cords, we always, there's cords, heart to heart, living persons in our world, even we have this cords. We even use the terminology, I cut the cords, no strings attached. And we do it in New Age, we do it with cutting cords. But when someone dies, we can't have this heart to heart cord anymore. We have to cut that, because now it has to be, the cord has to be third eye to heart. So we have to cut this one, and that's what a dumb supper does. So at the end of the dinner, which is the beginning of the dinner, say goodbye to their fleshly body. You are not any longer dead papa. You are spirit papa. It helps them always, because it lets them know you're okay. They can go off and do what they need to do. It helps you. It helps both the mourning process, and it also helps you to now communicate with them better, because you have a new relationship, not dead person to living person. It's spirit person to living person. So if you want to get into communicating with the dead, it'll be 10 times easier. So did I answer his question at all? So, I'm trying. So about the physical body, yeah, physical body dies, soul, spirit. There's a billion words for all the flesh, the hile. There's different words depending on which cosmology template you're using. But the soul and spirit don't die, just the body. And they hang. Oh, getting stuck. There's your question. Most, like, when people, because I do ghost hunts, I do paranormal, as many of you guys here do too. When you go into a house, people think that the spirits are stuck there. Most of the time, they're not stuck at all. They're just hanging around because they can. That's why grandma wants to come watch the kids in the thing. A few places they are stuck, and especially, again, lots of the TV show, you're going to go to the insane asylum or the prison or where the mass murderer held, and there is some people getting held down. But as a rule, they hang out because they can. They're not stuck. There are shades, or those ones who don't quite know they're dead. And that's usually due to like an unexpected death or a violent death. And those are the ones that do have this little edge to them. And those are the ones that you can easily cross over. And we've done it a million times in seances. It's like, oh, that little thing didn't know they're dead. They're not demonic. They just, so that's that. Go to the light, Carol Ann, go to the light. I've had a whole group of people, whether it's the 200 people at Samhain or, 13 people around my seance table, or, okay, you see the spirit. We all help them together. You can't push them through. You hold their hand, you guide them through. And we create this like very Star Trek light tunnel, and you see them go into, and you see. Now, that doesn't mean they can't come visit you anymore. It means they're not a shade anymore. Now they can come do it because they're not stuck. They know they're dead, and now they get to hang and do whatever they want. That's my experience anyway.
Okay. Bear with me 1 second. My screen has moved. Rach says, Rach'd like to know, what would you recommend as a newbie to do as a first step? I'm assuming she means in witchcraft, in learning the craft. Okay.
I would get my book, Old World Magic for the Modern World. Again, it's on Amazon. It's cheap. You can get audiobook or ebook or print book. Inexpensive, easy book. Spirit led me. I spent more time unwriting it than writing it on purpose. So it's a real easy, digestible read, but has real powerful magic in it. This will give you a concept of what it is. So start here, Old World Magic for the Modern World. There's some other great, anything by Scott Cunningham. He's an author. Sadly, he died like 30 some years ago. But he's got, especially elemental magic, he was early on the Wicca, magical household, herbs and oils. Anything by Scott Cunningham is, I even modeled mine. I want it simple, like a Scott Cunningham book. And he's got hundreds of books. He kept writing books after he was dead. I think, yeah, it can happen. So again, old school magic, you will get it clear. What is witchcraft? He even has that book. Scott Cunningham, new on the scene. There's this brilliant young Canadian. His name is Alex Kazemi. He has a book called Pop Magic. Again, simplifying everything. Now he hangs out with rock stars and hipsters. He's like a 25-year-old. He actually contacted me the first time because he liked my magic because it was very in line with his. Again, not a lot of rhetoric needed, not a lot of stuff, just wham, bam, be powerful. So Alex Kazemi I recommend his book, Pop Magic. And then, again, if you can find like-minded to do, you don't have to belong to a coven. Almost everybody I know is a soul practitioner. It's great if you can get a group of like-minded people, great. People who live in cities, metaphysical shops that are everywhere, occult shops, metaphysical shops. In the last several years, often many of them have pagan bent and options and doing public rituals and stuff. But again, it's learn the basics if you want to do it as what are the Sabbats, what are the wheel of the year. I want to show you the wheel of the year. What is witchcraft? This is the teacher in me. Again, I'm not going to hold it there. There is a literal wheel of the year. You work elementally, you work a compass. There's the 8 holidays like that. You're working in the air and the fire and the water and the earth. So you can get this off of Google. You don't even have to buy a book. You can get it. Just know that not everything online is that good or the truth. Use your intuition, what you want to do to go in the craft, going, read this. This part I'm not so sure about. Then read somebody else's, But the people I said, my book, Scott Cunningham's books, Alex Kazemi, and there's millions of other wonderful, well-educated, well-read who follow within the universal laws of what things are. Don't go off on tangents. Start anywhere.
Okay. So next question is from Dennis, one of our co-hosts. He'd like to know, do you ever have bad witches try to mess with you in what you do?
That's a good question. Thanks, Dennis. In real life, rarely, again, because I don't like witch wars. I don't like war with anybody. And again, I just try to stay above it. I'm decades out of high school. I don't want to eat that kind of thing. So if you don't create it, it takes 2 people to create a witch war. Now on television, Zach has a thing on Ghost Adventures, and she's in the UK. Zach loves the good witch, bad witch thing. So there's a lady in the UK named Lady Snake. Her real name is Wendy. I think she's a fine person, actually, but she will work the dark arts where I won't. So Zach has a thing, always expecting or suspecting of putting us together. The first time he did it, we were filming at the Haunted Museum, was the first Halloween special, I think. So, I'm locked in a gypsy cabin somewhere, blindfolded, don't know who's there, what's there. And he's just like, tell me what's happening. I'm always like, oh God, what if I don't get, and Bloody Mary was there and Father Sebastian was there, again, all dear friends now. But then he takes me into this room. He goes, Patti, come with me. And we walk into this room, which I'd been to his museum a few times filming, but this hadn't been in this room. And he walks in, and there's this little cute, unassuming English woman in this little cloak, little tiny thing, and she wanted to totally kill me. She wanted to she literally had a shovel in her hand, and she wanted to hit me with it. The energy in that room was like,
wow.
And it got to a point that good witch, bad witch, it was totally light energy, dark energy, blah, blah, blah. You only saw some of it on camera. And then Zach oh, let's get you out of here. Let's fly you home. But this is where he's so funny. I had no idea. She's willing to work in the dark arts. Again, I think she's fine, and I have no judgments there. I just don't want to live in that world. But I had no idea until I saw it on television that was Ed Gein's cauldron she was doing magic in. Ed Gein is this huge serial killer that used to eat people and cook them in that pot that she was doing magic in. She was totally being influenced by him. Totally. If you're doing magic and you're calling, and if anybody saw that Silence of the Lambs movie or Chainsaw Massacre, those were all designed after Ed Gein. She was doing magic and channeling him. No wonder this little tiny English woman wanted to kill me. But, get to know her a little bit afterwards. It's like, okay, she's cool. She's a mother. But then he did it again to me. The last year, I guess the year before, the Halloween special, which was the 4-hour live Halloween special, which, that's tough because ghosts do not know, let's break for commercial. They have to break because they have to go to a big network commercial. and then the ghosts go wild, and it's like none of it gets camera. It was just hysterical. But most of us, we all knew we were there. I was in seventh heaven because I was there with Chris Fleming and Joshua Gates, Joshua Gates and Joshua Warren and Justin. And Dave Schrader was there. Everybody was there. Michael and Marty. I'm like, wow. And we got to be sequestered together. We were in the hotel together. We got to talk together. And we were all doing our different segments, the best of the best. I'm like, this is great. Why am I here? I don't know, but I love it. But we all knew each other was there. And then all of a sudden it was my turn to go into that thing. And there's Zach is like, okay. And this is before anybody got to go in the haunted basement. He goes, will you come in that basement with me? I'm like, oh, okay. And there she is, Lady Snake, with a pentagram doing dark math. And I'm looking at these black oozy things in the museum I've never seen. It's like, what the hell's going on here? He did it to me again. She wasn't even allowed to stay at the same hotel as us. She wasn't in the sequestered room.
Wow.
She must have had her luck just to do it.
That's crazy.
It was crazy. But see, she was doing stuff that I think kind of messed up because Zach does it. He loves her. I mean, I love her. He's got this thing. He wants to face the devil. He wants to see the big scary monster there. And so let's bring in something dark always. But he didn't quite get that what she was doing was actually causing some chaos and made things not just I get to see something dark and scary. It was causing confusion and chaos and lights to break and cameras to break. So you have to be careful. Again, that cause and effect, action, reaction. So I didn't think he quite got it. But it's always fun. More power to her. It's like, hi. I remember I did this big, good. I did this stomp and Zach jumped about 20 feet. And then when they did a redo of that show, like a re-editing, he took that out. It's like, anyway, so yeah, in real life, I won't, if you refuse to get in witch wars, you don't. I'm sure people have wished me bad. I've heard things about me, but it doesn't matter.
Well, right. Another question for you. Is there such a thing as purgatory, or is it just heaven and hell? Are ghosts just demons, or are they lost souls?
That's
quite a question.
That's quite a question, and very Christian cosmology or Judeo-Christian cosmology. I don't believe in purgatory. I don't believe in heaven. I don't believe in hell. And not everything. And ghosts aren't all lost souls. In my experience, your truth may be different. I think most of those heaven and hell was added into the Christianity and stuff in the mid 1500s for control of people. If you have control of your life now, then you're not going to follow my lead. So they said, they took out reincarnation. They took out all this stuff. If you study theology, so we can control people. Let's tell them that the next life will be good. I do believe there is some lost along the way, but I think it's all energy. We're all energy. The ancient Sumerian belief system, which is way before almost anybody else's religions, going back to Anunnaki, perhaps, were they aliens? I don't know. But they kind of believe that everybody went to their own heaven. Like if you're in the UK, you went to UK heaven. If you're a Christian, you went to Christian heaven. If you're this, and in a sense, I think that's almost the closest to true. Because if we're these energy beings and in this work with spirits, you kind of create your own, almost like the Matrix. I think that movie, The Matrix, other than we're locked up in a cage somewhere, is more close to reality and energy. I do believe there's this big energy source. I do believe there's light and dark, and I believe both have to exist, and there's this whatever in between. But just in my world, I've never talked to any spirit who's gone to the pearly gates of heaven, burning in hell. I think it's just part of our process. We're in school. When you pass over, you can come visit your lovely family. You can be stuck. You can be evil. There's bad ghosts. There's good ghosts. There's spirits. And again, demons still get way too much credit. So they exist. Did I answer your question, Angelina? I don't know. Yeah.
Sorry. Do you use sigil magic? And if so, have you experienced interesting results?
I use tons of sigil magic. I love signs and symbols. That's, again, I like it simplistic. My favorite protective sigil is the Helm of Awe, or Helm of Awe. It's actually, I put it in my book. It's Norwegian, Icelandic. It's a 8-sided cross. Again, I have a big picture of it. I don't have it right. That little thing right there.
Yeah.
It's 8-sided cross, and it's got 22 points. It's got the little Neptune trident. Energy, it's science. Actually, energy goes in and blows up 8 directions. And it's got, with all the points around, it's sacred geometry. It's you get into so many things. So I don't have it on now because I knew I didn't need it. I have a little pendant of it, Helm of Awe, HELM, new word, OF, AWE. They used to be hard to find, but now with all the Viking TV shows, you could buy them for $10, medallions, pendants. They're everywhere. I know people getting tattoos. That's a super protective, but I do. Sigil or symbol, I mean, you could wear your cross, your pentagram, your Star of David, your Ankh, all those. They're pieces of power. Both, they have the power because of the geometry of them, and they also have the power of what we gave them. A dollar sign is a sigil. That means money. A heart means love. All those things we make. And I use them a lot because they give you that mind, body, spirit. They give you a visual. They have the energy attached to it. I also work with sigils a lot in magic, like spare sigils, Austin Spare. That's where you take words and you make them. I have a friend who did a beautiful book, The Art of Sigils. She makes, this might say, I do well on travel. And there, you can look online. Those are a bunch of words that nobody's going to be able to read, but it's your power. I put them on candles. Like that says a bunch of, I reverse it, amazing words and things that you can't read, but it's a power symbol. So again, you could look up spare sigil. It's basically taking words, separating the vowels and consonants, getting rid of the doubles, turn it into an art piece. But yes, sigils are powerful, powerful tools. Everything's a tool. You don't need anything, but everything helps. I'm dropping things in my house.
And she trashes the place. It's okay. It's hers, so it's fine.
It's fine. I do it.
This is quite a lengthy one, but if we can help, then hopefully we can. Laura, so hope you don't mind me asking this personal question. My mum is really suffering at the minute. She keeps having a strong deja vu feeling, which makes her feel panicky and sweaty and faint, usually only a few times a year. But this weekend, she's had it about 5 times. I'm convinced it's spiritual connection or cause. Can she calm it? And if she can, I will extend the question and ask how. Yeah,
well, she's having it because everything we talked about earlier, it's Samhain. The veil between the worlds is the thinnest. I think it's, again, getting into that matrix thing, that deja vu. She doesn't have to be frightened by it. It's not a bad thing by anything. But time and space doesn't exist on the other side, which is hard for us because we live by that concept of that string. We live by that concept. But if it doesn't exist, the deja vu might be past, present, this, 2 things colliding at the same time. Again, think matrix. So if she decides that it's an interesting thing or a positive thing, she can not get sweaty and worried about it. If she wants to shut it down, though, which I wouldn't recommend, but if she really doesn't like it and can't change her perception or thought pattern about it, yes, we can shut it down. I'm a big believer in having an on-off switch. I talk about this when I teach how to develop your psychic skills, or because
that was one of the questions that was coming up. So I knew where you were leading to. So I thought so this will, whoever that was asked that question, I won't ask it now because Patty's going to cover it for you anyway.
Yeah. See how psychic you are? Yeah, I don't want to, there's that right brain, left reasoning, rational, logical brain. There's no psychic stuff there. That's our day-to-day. Your right is your psychic, intuitive, spiritual, artisty side. You have to dance between the two. You can't use one against the other. You can't have a grandma standing behind me. Oh, that doesn't make sense. You just shut it down. So to develop your right brain, your psychic ability, you have to learn to shut this down. But the more you develop it, you come up with an on-off switch. Work energetically, work with breath, work with visualization. I literally do it like a light switch, on and off. Some people I know, mediums and especially empaths, I know so many of you are empathic, do not take on other people's stress and headache. So have an on-off switch. Some people use it as doors. I close the door, I open the door. Start with intent, belief system. Again, work with breath or energy. It makes both sides better. I don't want to be going to the grocery store and be like Long Island Medium, seeing everybody's dead relatives. Your mother wants to talk to you. It's like, no, I just want to shop for groceries. Shut it down. And I don't even believe it's right, because if that person hasn't asked me for help, I don't think it's an integrity to give it to them. You know, even if it's like, nope, this is their lesson. But so I turn it off. And then when you turn it back on, you are so much more psychic, so much more intuitive. Again, because that divide is clear. So come up with your own version of on-off and learn it, especially the more you develop your gift or the more you're looking into this paranormal world, which again, everybody here is, you really have to control it. This is our realm of existence. I sincerely believe the other side has to play by our rules. People just don't know that, so they give them power over it. And but unless you have a severe addiction problem or a severe mental imbalance, this is our realm. Nope, you can't do that. Whether it's a demonic thing, okay, my body, my house, my life. Nope, you don't want to do it with anger. You don't want to do it with fear. Just more like a parent or a disciplinarian teacher. Nope. And you'll be amazed the power you have, because we're human.
Okay, Patti, to round things off, can you just let everybody know where they can find you and find more information? Obviously, we've said about your book. So you let everyone know where they can find you and how they can connect with you on Facebook, please, or
please.
on your website.
Too, Patti Negri, PattiNegri.com is my website. Please go there. I have a YouTube page on Facebook. I'm Patti Negri, but go to my Patti Negri Psychic Medium. Either one. I can't take more friends on Patti Negri. Twitter at Patti Negri. Instagram Patti.Negri. You can get to them all from PattiNegri.com. You can sign up for my newsletter, which I send out little magical things sometimes, not very often. But yeah, please like me, follow me. I teach classes, $10 magic classes every week with House of Intuition. There's lots of ways people who want to develop can. And I always have to be cheap or free or really accessible, because that's my gig. So.
Okay. Thank you very much, Patti. Thank you to everybody that's watched so far. And thank you all for joining us and asking Patti your questions. And now I'd just like to say thank you to Patti for joining us. We will put all your links in the comments so people can find you. Everyone's saying thank you. They've really enjoyed it. Please stay with us, everybody, because coming up, we have got the lovely Mr. Barry Guy, and he will be chatting to Dennis next. Oh, Patti's excited. So Dennis will be chatting to Barry next. So please stay with us and keep on watching. And don't forget, we're on for many more hours yet. Thank you, Patti, and thank you, everybody, for watching.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you for this opportunity. Thanks.